Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Josiah, and I'm an addict.
JC, I'm an addict.
Right on. And we are here today to provide our reflections on the daily meditations with Native American elders. But just as anything, as we do with as Native country, before we start anything, we offer up a prayer. And I'm going to ask Mr. Beaumont here to offer up a prayer today before we get going.
Bharatia, we thank you for all good things. We know that you are our creator, our provider, our protector, and our comforter. Please come into our hearts and our minds and help us to speak good words. Watch over all those who are out there still suffering from the disease of addiction. Please help all those who are suffering from COVID. Help us get through this tough time. And we pray that you watch over everybody from the little ones all the way to our elders. In Jesus' name we pray. Oh.
Who? Right on, right on. Well, I'm going to jump right in with the summer meditations with Native American elders, September 7th. Education is the new weapon of Indian people. Eddie Bach, Southern Ute. People have the ability to adapt. In these modern times, we must get educated so the people don't lose. We need lawyers, doctors, nurses, foresters, scientists, educators, carpenters, welders. These skills are needed to help the people. While we are learning, we need to remember to keep the culture, learn the dances, sing the songs, learn the language, and maintain the red road for future generations. Great Spirit, let my education never lack the meaning and value of spirituality. Who? So still just still attic in what what the reading is really bringing forth for me today was that back in 2019, each calendar year, I kind of have like a theme. It just kind of hits me like in January. It's just kind of like, okay, this is what my focus is going to be this year. So like 2019 was like committed to education, committed to educating myself um, more and more on this addiction and how to combat it, and just kind of like more and more about culture as well, like our ancestors and stuff. So what that led me to come across was that our ancestors, and I read up and studied kind of different tribes and stuff, but so through that study, through that research, anywhere from like 3 generations to like 7 generations, depending on your tribe and your culture, that's what they thought about when they made their decisions. So that blew my mind. I was just like, whoa, and I shared this before in previous videos and stuff, but that blew my mind. I was like, whoa, like those people that went through all that genocide, all that rape, their whole culture, their whole way of life taken away from them, like they just, they chose to survive for me, for you, for all of us here today. They thought of us. They thought of the unborn, their great grandchildren. Like I'm gonna make this work. This shitty situation. Pardon my French. I'm gonna make this work. I'm gonna survive this so that we could be here. And I was just like, whoa, man. I was just like overwhelming for me. And I was like, I gotta honor that. I gotta honor that resiliency, that confidence, that resolve by combating my addiction, by living in a good way, by walking the red road. I got to honor that because they chose to survive. They could have easily just given up and been like, screw it, throw in the towel. I'm done. But they weren't built that way. They weren't built that way. They had their Baratia, they had the creator God that was prominent in their lives, and they're like, okay, well, this is the situation now. This is my reality, and I'm gonna get through this. I'm gonna make this work for the unborn. And to me, I gotta honor that. I gotta honor that by, like I said before, walking the red road, combating my addiction, trying to help others get to the red road and walk the red road. And one of the biggest things like that was through that was staying committed to education, staying remaining teachable. that I'm never gonna know everything. I'm not gonna be in a place where I'm gonna be like I'm gonna feel fully accomplished and be like, okay, I know it all. Come to me. I got the answers. No, I'm not ever gonna reach that point. So to remain teachable and stay committed to education on ways to combat this addiction, our disease, our wanting to escape reality. And so, those were the things that were hitting me, just like refresher for me. The education, yeah, it's awesome, and the more we educate ourselves, the more we find out um, what we don't know, and that there's a whole wealth of information out there, um, and to continue to educate ourselves to not only help ourselves but help our fellow man, help our brothers and sisters that are walking the red road. And those are the things that were coming through prominent today. And today's Labor Day. It's a good day, man. I mean, it's cloudy and kind of rainy out today, but I went outside and I just love that. It rained last night, and that fresh smell was just like, fall's coming. My favorite time of the year. Fall, winter, basketball season. And we were just talking basketball right before we went on, but that's all I got. I'm kind of rambling now. So I'll pass the mic over. Thanks for listening.
All right, I hope. I'm JC. I'm still an addict, and first thing I got to say is fall, really? I'm a spring guy myself. I like it when the ice breaks. But let's see. Yeah, I gotta tell you, for those of you watching this, listening, one of the first conversations, really good conversations I had with Josiah, I kind of went off on something like this, and without ever reading this, without ever knowing that this daily meditation was out there, I was telling him, we need our people to go out there and get these things, because like I said, we need psychologists, we need doctors, we need lawyers to protect our rights, we need teachers, we need LACs, we need carpenters, we need all these different disciplines so that you can bring those back to the people. You go out there, you get the education, you can come back and you can bring those disciplines and incorporate it into our culture and into our traditions, and we can use it our way. And I kind of went off one time when I was talking to Josiah, and when I read this morning, I thought, wow, I mean, and I say this in all humility, because I'm not going to sit here and act, I would never act self-righteous or high and mighty, or I'm better, or I'm super smart or anything. All it did when I read this morning was it just kind of validated my growth, and it let me know that I'm on the right track. And so it's just pretty uncanny. I thought that was kind of, I'm sure there's a better spiritual word for it, but for me, it just seemed kind of weird. That's the only word that comes to my mind, is like, wow, I said this before and here it is coming back. But, when it talks about, adapting, and we've always adapted, and everything that the Europeans coming to this, the colonialists, is that a word, colonialists? Maybe, well, it is now. When they came and then they started doing all these things to get our land and to get rid of our people and to try to erase our culture and all these, these traumas that we faced, when they did all that, every time they did something, we adapted. They moved tribes to different locations, and they, obviously it had a negative effect on them, but when they got there, they were able to adapt. And they, like Josiah said, they survived. And we've done that every time. Everything they threw at us, we got through it, we adapted, and we started to grow. And so they would throw something else at us, and they kept doing that, and it was over and over and over. But our ancestors survived. They kept adapting, and they kept making a way to hold on to the culture, even when it was illegal, even when they were beaten, even when they were, I guess even arrested at sometimes. It was illegal to practice Native American culture, to speak the language, and they still found a way to make it get through. And today we have all these things. And I mean, as far as the things that we need, we also need those uh, the spiritual mentors, the people who know the ceremonies, who are fluent in the language, and you know are understanding of the traditions, so that they can pass that on. And so I think there's a place for each and every one of us, that we have certain abilities, certain talents that were given to us by our Creator, and we can use these and go out and get that education. And there is no knowledge that isn't power, and when we're educated, we're powerful. And that goes back to, I think I can't remember the first line, but having growing up in Pryor, we all know, or anybody that knows anything about Plenikoos, they're going to know his famous quote, and that is, education is our most powerful weapon. With it, we are the white man's equal. Without it, we're his victim, and we all know that, and we've learned it. And that kind of brings me to my next point: is, for some odd reason, there's a lot of Native people out there who are threatened by success for one reason or another, and I don't know why that is. I mean, I have my ideas, but those are just, my opinions, and I won't even go there. But we have a crab pot mentality. In other words, that story about, how come those crabs aren't trying to escape? And well, those are Indian crabs. When one gets to the top, the other ones will pull it down. That's that crab pot mentality. And I know a lot of people that get that, they go out, they get educated, they do things that try to better themselves so that they can help their family and their community and their people. And then there's those other people in there that'll say, oh, well, you're trying to be white, or you're trying to act better than us. And I was telling Josiah, I was thinking about this. When somebody comes and asks you, why do you think you're better than me? Then that's not the question. The question should be is, why do you think you're less than? Because when I say that, if I say, Josiah, why do you think you're better than me? I'm taking myself out of the equation and I'm putting everything on him. And that's not what we need to do. We need to take responsibility for ourselves. My question should be, why do I feel less than? Why do I feel threatened? Why do I feel like one of my own people coming back to help me? Why is that threatening to me? And then that's only a question each individual can answer, and we have to take responsibility for that. But I guess, in closing, it was just really strange to see all that. And I'm glad it kind of popped up. It was one of those things that it just, like I said, it just lets me know that I'm on the right track, and maybe, just maybe, I'm starting to figure some stuff out. But I just want to thank Josiah and everybody that's watching, and hopefully we get some more support. If you guys are watching this for the first time and you like it, let your friends know and tell them to let their friends know. And like Josiah says, we'll spread this word Billy Graham style, the hope.
That's right. Spreading that well-brided gospel, Billy Graham style. Come be part of our ministry. No, just kidding. Come walk the red road with us, man. Everybody's welcome. It's part of our third tradition is that, everyone who is fighting any abuses, so that could be like food addiction, sex addiction, gambling, not just the substances, So anybody fighting any addiction, or even like people dealing with codependency. We got a codependency talking circle on Tuesday nights. So, you're more than welcome. And that third tradition states anybody fighting any abuses is welcome. Red, yellow, black, and white. Representation of the shades of skin. It's up to the individual. It's up to you to decide if you belong. So if you feel like you belong with the White Eagle Talking Circle crew, you love the talking circles and stuff, cool. Stay, be with us, walk with us, share your experience, strength, and hope with us, because we need you just as much as you need us. So, walk with us, walk together. And If you're on Facebook, you're probably seeing the link from Facebook, the Billings Wellbriety Movement. Um, we keep everything up to date on there, what's going down, the meetings for the week, speaker meeting. And, I'm excited. September is my recovery birthday. September is recovery month. And, we got our speaker meeting planned for the September 20th. Probably we've been having them at Riverfront Park here in Billings, Montana. So if you guys want to come to that, you can hear my story because I tell my story in September. So September 20th, if that's when it's going down. But education, educate yourself on ways, educate yourself about this disease and addiction. One of the biggest things that I not learning about the ancestors, another huge thing that I came across was that um, it doesn't even matter what substance or what activity that you're doing that you're addicted to. The bottom line is we don't want to be in reality. We don't want to be in the here and the now. We don't want to deal and feel with our emotions. So some of us use alcohol, some of us use drugs, some of us use pills, some of us use sex, some of us use gambling, some of us use food, some of us use shopping, etc., etc. But the bottom line is we don't want to be in reality. We don't want to be in the here and the now. So knowing that now, I'm just like, oh, okay. So I constantly throughout the day, today, now, um, I ground myself. I ground myself, 3, 4 times a day, sometimes even more if I find myself future tripping, if I find myself living in the past. So, that through that education, then we can equip ourselves with tools and coping skills. Um, just like real simple things like grounding yourself, describing stuff around you when you're future tripping or living in the past. And that gets you out of that stinking thinking. So, those are education is a great tool, and I just encourage all of you, pick up the Red Road to Wellbriety book and read it. If you don't have it, go down to Barjan's and buy it and read it. It's a life changer. It was a life changer for me. It made all those teachings that I got growing up real, and so I just really encourage you guys. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. And sorry about that. Went down the wrong pipe, almost choked. But yeah, Wellbriety, throwing up the dubs for Wellbriety today. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, mindful day, and we'll close with the silent proclamation. To walk the red road is to offer up a silent proclamation. Here the destruction stops.
We will heal ourselves. We will heal our wounded relationships.
We will heal our children. We will heal our nation. On this day, our future history begins. Aho.
Oh.
Shinnik.